Hello, YouTube. This is William. Thought maybe I'd weigh in on this Corona-19 thing. I've been seeing a lot of things on social media that, well, thought maybe I'd share my thoughts on it and let you guys decide for yourself, but maybe look at it from a different angle. First of all, I keep reading that this is not any worse than the flu. The mortality rate is so low, and so on and so forth. That why all the hype? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? Why are they shutting down businesses and all this other stuff, and just overreach of government and just all kinds of stuff. And it even goes even further to say that there is not even a virus, that this is a government thing, that they're going to be doing all this other stuff behind the scenes. It's just so you don't watch what the other hand does. All right. Well, okay. There is enough evidence out there that there is a virus, and it is devastated Italy, and France is in serious trouble as well. China has probably more deaths than they're letting on. So there is a problem. There is a virus. Okay. Now, let's talk about this virus. And the reason there is concern, from what I gathered from reading about this and watching interviews and things from people who know, from the CDC and other places, if you really listen to them, what they're saying is that this virus is 3 to 5 times more contagious than the flu. So that means that you're 3 to 5 times more likely to catch it than you would if you were standing beside somebody that had the flu. That's issue one. The other issue, if that's the case, then that means that there's 300 million people in the United States, and if 300 million people, or say even half or even 2/3 of them, caught this disease, then at 2%, that's a lot of deaths. Okay. Granted, one death from this is too much, but when you start talking hundreds and millions or low millions of people dying over this because of a virus, then that is a catastrophe. Okay, so the potential of this is astronomical if we do nothing. All right. Now, the other thing that people have been complaining about is the government stepping in and closing travel and all this other stuff. That's just prudent, folks. You got to stop this thing from coming in as much as possible. You're not going to stop all of it, but you have to control it and contain it as much as possible, because the incubation period is 4 days. You don't even know you're sick for 4 days, and in that 4-day period, you can infect hundreds, if not thousands, and they in turn can infect thousands. So you could have a whole city infected in 4 days, or at least a small town infected in 4 days before the first person even realizes he was sick or she was sick. So the potential of this virus being a epidemic or a pandemic, well, they've already announced it as a pandemic because of that the high rate of contagion, is just astronomical. I mean, it just the numbers is just mind-boggling. Okay, that's if we do nothing. So there was reports in the beginning of this, and it's it was kind of weak in the beginning, but when it started talking about this, we as a society did nothing but buy toilet paper. I'm sorry, it's not funny. So we did not handle this very well. We kept going to shows. We kept going out to eat. We kept doing all this other stuff. And so the government, to protect not us, they're not protecting us. They're protecting others. Okay? So this is not to us. It's to others. You have to think about your fellow man. So in order to protect others from ourselves, they said, okay, the businesses has to close for 2 weeks. Schools has to close for 2 weeks until we can control this virus, and to where it doesn't contaminate the entire population of the United States, because we did not stay home as much as we could have. Okay, so is it an overreach of government? No, that's what we hire or pay the taxes for the government to do this. They are to protect us, okay, ourselves from ourselves, if that makes sense, because we did not heed the warnings on this. And I think a lot of it is because we're so callous that we don't trust anything we hear or read from the news media because we get so much misinformation. We do not trust the government at all. And I think a lot of it was, and I'm a Trump supporter. I do think I don't like a lot of what he does. I think he's a little brash at times. I think he's egotistical. I think there's a lot of things. But overall, for the majority part of it, I like what he has done. But in the beginning of this, I think he could have handled it a little bit better. Him stopping travel coming into the United States was a brilliant move. That probably saved thousands of lives. And there's been a lot of people that even said that from the scientific community. But him downplaying it, I think, was a mistake. I think he should have been level with the people. I think he should have come out and said exactly. Now, there's going to be others out there that just would have panicked and just went crazy. But for the most part, I think the American public could have handled the truth. And I think that was a missed opportunity. But anyway, I understand why he did what he did, because he was trying to calm everybody and keep everybody calm and keep the markets sort of stable. I mean, because the markets at the time, folks, if you remember, the markets were just going crazy. Down 2,000 points, up 1,500, down 1,000, up 2,000. I mean, it's just going crazy, and that's because the plunge protection teams and all this other stuff had to step in. The Fed had to buy bonds and stock and everything else to keep it propped up. But anyway, I won't go into all of that. But anyway, everybody was panicking on the stock market side, and so he was trying to kind of calm that down. But the thing about it is, it gave a false sense of security to the citizenry of the United States, I think. And we continued to go out and eat, like I said, and we continued to go to concerts, we continued to do this and everything else. And the potential and the danger of that was just astronomical when they started seeing that. So they said, hey, we have to step in and close these businesses down, okay, for a period of time until we can control this virus, because it is our job as the government to protect our citizenry. Okay? So let's look at it from that angle and see if we can't, as a society, grow from this, because I think that this is only a taste, folks, of what's coming. I don't really think that this is going to be the apocalypse. I think that this is going to be there's just too many people in the world and so much things out there that it has the potential of causing pandemics and everything else that we need to learn from this. Be prepared. Buy things other than toilet paper. Okay? Just be prudent. Have plenty of water or a water source available. Have plenty of food around. I mean, being in the South, this is nothing new for us because we got hurricanes, tornadoes, ice storms. I mean, we have to live off the grid or prepare for it, every year. So it's really nothing new for us. But be sure that you can be self-contained for a few weeks, if not a month, 2 months, whatever you can afford. And just ride this thing out, because, I mean, if you listen to the news reports, and that's got to take that with a grain of salt too, as well sometimes. That it's on the decline in China now, so they about got it controlled. And the problem with China was they did not do the steps that we're doing now in America to help control or contain this virus. They stepped in too late. The government did. But anyway. So now it looks like that's on a downhill turn as well in China, and I'm hoping Italy and France get in control of it as well, because they didn't do the things that we're doing now either. So we learn from those countries, and the self-testing and everything else that's going on right now. I'm hoping that it's going to shorten the lifespan of this virus. So, but let's learn from it. Okay, let's make sure that we're stocked up on plenty of food, plenty of water, essentials, medication, everything that we need to survive and live at the house. And don't go to work if you don't have to. Don't go out if you don't have to. Don't mingle in crowds unless it's a must. And you got to realize it has to be a must to do this, because if you get sick, then you're going to bring it back to your family, and it's not a good thing. It's not worth the risk. So those are my thoughts on it, and I wish you guys be safe. We'll get through this. We've had worse things happen in the United States, and we'll get through it. It's just we have to be a little prudent and a little patient, and kind of look at our fellow man and our neighbor instead of looking at ourselves sometimes. Okay, how's it affecting me? How's it affecting my neighbor? How's it affecting other people? Okay. Till the next one, you guys get in the backyard, whittle on a stick. Be sure and take a child with you, get the opportunity. And don't forget those plenty of Band-Aids and lots of knives. We'll catch you again soon.